Hello, everyone. Better late than never. It's all gone a bit wrong over the last week or so. So I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and I'm not when I'm supposed to be there. Hello, welcome to the show, to this special Andy Shed Live, being done on a wing and a prayer from the old loft here. You can see here at HQ. I was supposed to be at the radio station this afternoon. It's all gone a little bit wrong because 2 or 3 days ago, the computer that basically controls everything went down. Basically, it failed the computer. So we are just getting the computer back up and running again now. It's a big desktop computer that normally does all the live streams and everything like that. We're just getting it up and running again now, but we haven't yet got the software back onto it that we use generally for these live streams. So because we've not got that software up and running, I can't do what I was planning to do today. So I'm here in the loft, as you can see. Christopher's with us. Hi, Christopher. Don't know how many of the people have remembered that I said I was going to be on earlier today. Wesley's here as well. Hi, Wesley. Good afternoon. As I say, it's all gone a bit Pete Tong today. So we're using a mobile phone and YouTube's own software, which isn't very good, of course, because it's YouTube. So it's all a bit rubbish. All I can see is a square picture today. Am I square today, or am I properly widescreen? Can anybody tell me? Is it square or is it widescreen? Because I can't find a way of resetting it. So I don't know quite what's happening with that. But yeah, because it looks square to me. Also, is it the right way around? If I show you something with some writing on it, like that, is what you are seeing the right way around? Is that writing the right way around, or is it mirrored? Is what I would quite like to know. Is it mirrored, though, then, Wesley? Is it? Can you read that, or is that written backwards? Because that's the other thing. It says, I think it's mirrored. Drat. So how do I unmirror it? That's a good question, isn't it? I don't know, is the simple answer. We might have to live with it being mirrored today, because I can't unmirror it. Like I say, it's YouTube's own software, and you would think YouTube's own app on your phone would be brilliant, wouldn't you? But it's not. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. And never use their own app. I never ever use it because it is truly diabolical. But unfortunately today, kind of not got much choice. I've got to use it because, like I say, it's all broken down today. But what it was a hard disk that failed in the computer. That's what happened. It took everything down, and I've reinstalled everything back onto the computer. But of course, we've reversioned everything, and the new versions don't work right of all the software and that. So that's what's giving me a problem today. I'm looking at the live chat. He says he thinks it's mirrored. It's mirrored as I'm looking at it as well. It's mirrored on my phone, but I don't know if it's mirrored in your world. It shouldn't be mirrored in your world. It should only be mirrored on my phone. but who knows? Who can tell? Right, I am pointing here to the right. I should be pointing there to the right. Is that your right-hand side over there? And your left-hand side's over there? That's how it should be. This should be a left-hand side, as you're looking at it, I think. Yes, this should be a left-hand side as you're looking at it, and this should be a right-hand side, I reckon. Yeah, Christopher says it's mirrored. How the hell do you stop that then? It's rubbish. It truly is. Put your right hand up, it says. Ah, that's my right hand, Wesley. So yeah, that's right. I'll do you the royal wave, shall I? The royal wave today. There you go. The royal wave. Yeah, we think it's mirrored. I think it is. It's often a problem. Some of the apps and that you can use have a thing to stop it being mirrored, but why YouTube has not solved this problem, I do not know. They are about as useless as it's possible to be. Retouch on. What does that mean then? Retouch. What does that do? What does retouch do then? Oh, it zooms and things. What does it do then? Oh, I don't know. I don't understand how it works. I've got no clue. No clue how it works. Anyway, we'll have to live with it being mirrored, and we'll have it all sorted for next time. Right. Yes. Are we ready for Christmas? Christmas has come early here. I've got a package. Shall we see what's in it? I've not got anything sharp to stab in my package with, if you'll pardon the expression. We'll see what's in it. Can you down a bit more? I've had this a while. I just found it because I'm having a major tidy up. Christmas is coming, so you've got to put some Christmas decorations up. Not that I particularly want to, but there you go. Can you tell what it is yet? Any guesses yet? Any guesses? It's doing a lot of beeping at me this today. Not a telephone. That's your first clue. It's not a telephone, but it may be telephone related. Are you ready? It's a rusty jug. But the thing about this rusty jug, don't know if you can see it or not, and of course it's mirrored so you can't read it, but it says GPO on it. So we think it's a water jug for filling up the lead acid batteries that they used to have in telephone exchangers. Doesn't smell particularly unpleasant inside it, and it is, of course, empty as empty can be. It's got a rather nice brass stopper that will clean up nicely. But that's what we think it is. We think it's a water jug out of a telephone exchange. We think that's what it is. Not 100% certain. If anybody knows, let me know. Wesley, do you know what this is? Have you seen one of these before? But we think that's what it is. All right. So yeah, that's something I've rediscovered because it arrived a while ago and I forgot it had come. So, yeah. An item I've rediscovered there from a while back, as I say. Yeah. Cool. So that's me water jug that's arrived. Cracky, it's a bit parky up here, let me tell you. It is a bit cool up here today. Yeah. So, what's everybody been up to? Anything exciting been going on? Of course, we're a bit short on people today. I think not everybody's remembered. There's going to be a lot of people coming on at 6:30 tonight, aren't they? Going, where is he? Where is he? But I did say we'd be earlier today. Christopher, you'll be able to go to bed tonight. You'll not have to stay up till the wee small hours because we'll have been on a bit earlier. Yeah, it'll be different, won't it? What's that thing down there? What was that came up there? I've got no idea what that is. Oh, right. Telling me I can do all sorts of weird things. That now. Well, as I said, been doing nothing exciting really. He's got his yellow dial ambassador working. Excellent. I've got a yellow one somewhere. Got no clue where it is. I think it's probably in this room somewhere, but I've got absolutely no clue because there is so much stuff in this room. I've also heard last night, although I've yet to have this confirmed, that all of a sudden they've withdrawn all the heritage trams in Blackpool and are not going to run them again. This is just something that's unconfirmed that I've only heard from one source last night because it only kind of happened like either yesterday or the day before. I've only had it from one source, but it's an absolute tragedy that if it's true. But I've not heard anything more about it. But I will be trying to find out what's happening there as we go. Wesley says the audio keeps breaking up for me. Wonder why. Does the picture break up, Wesley? Is it just the audio? Shouldn't be doing, really. It shouldn't be doing. It's YouTube. They're absolutely hopeless. Their apps and things are useless. You don't have enough control over the bit rate and things for it to work properly. So it's just the audio breaking up. Well, I would have thought the video should break up before the audio. Christopher says the only thing that he's bought this week is another jerry can for his unleaded petrol. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a few jerry cans here, none of which are actually German, which is strange, being as they're jerry cans. And they were originally German jerry cans. They were a German invention, hence the name jerry can. But Yeah, you never find German. You never find German anything really, do you? But no, we've never found one. But I've got probably got about 5 or 6, I think, sort of around. Normally full of fuel that I've forgotten what it is long ago. Some's got bits of diesel in, some's got bits of petrol in, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we've got 1 or 2. Yeah, I'm surrounded by stuff much as I am when I'm in the other room here at the moment, including some projects that are still ongoing. This is one of the most interesting ones. A minute. This candlestick phone, I find this fascinating because it's actually brand new, this, or very near to being brand new. And it's made exactly in the same way they made the originals. It's one of the best replicas I've ever seen. It's got the single screw in the middle of the base. The dial is a bit different. It's got one of the ATE type dials on that you often get in India. But everything else, when you take it apart, it's really, really very close to the original type of candlestick, which is why I've kept it. I think it came in a batch of things. I've kept it because it is close, not exact, but close to being original. And I've been doing a few electronic projects as well. This is one that's ongoing. This is a model railway controller in a 3D printed box. It just needs to be actually physically properly stuck into the box. But yeah, that's a little model railway controller that we've been working on. What else have we got up here that I can show you? And one of those rare clear dial backs, and that you don't often find a clear one, so I've got one of those here. Chris said he's bought some old 1980s V-line locomotive and training manuals. He says he's not happy because they're retiring some of the loco hold rolling stock. Yeah, they do that a lot. It's more or less all gone here. There's hardly any loco hold stock on passenger services here now, Christopher. It's nearly all multiple units, and has been for quite some time actually. It's very rare you will get on a loco hold train here. If you get a loco hold train here, it's normally because something's gone very wrong. But yeah, they don't operate much loco hold stuff in this country anymore. There were some loco hold sets put into service, kind of brand new sets, a couple of years ago by Northern here in the UK, but they were so unreliable. They were using kind of new-ish locomotives as push-pull, and then they built new rolling stock to go with these new-ish, although not brand new locomotives. but the whole lot's proved so reliable they've been withdrawn after about 2 years of service. So it's a big scandal, because apparently they were quite expensive and they've withdrawn them because they're just not very good. But yeah, it's local haul stuff is very rare, unless you're on a preserved railway, of course. And even on a preserved railway, you can get DMUs. Actually, on a preserved railway, I kind of prefer the DMUs. Yeah, I do kind of prefer the DMUs on a heritage railway, because you're actually sat in the thing that's been restored, rather than what they normally do, which is restore the engine and just don't bother with the coaches. Wesley said it's been in the news about the heritage trams in Blackpool being withdrawn. Yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago, Wesley. There was all of a sudden a notice posted that, and it was very sudden, and nothing even hinted at it. In fact, they were taking bookings for Christmas tours running from North Station. I think something's happened. I don't know what, but I think something's happened that they're keeping quiet, because they were running quite happily. They were going to do Christmas things from North Station and that. But if that is the end of the heritage trams in Blackpool, that's the end of Blackpool. Full stop. That will be it. I mean, I've not been to Blackpool much since the so-called upgrade, when they replaced all the old trams with these horrible new plastic things. I've been very little since then. And now probably won't be going back at all. I think it's some kind of con by a Blackpool Transport. The manager of Blackpool Transport is not at all heritage orientated, not at all transport orientated, as far as I'm aware. Not actually a transport manager all the way through their career, sort of thing. Come from managing other types of businesses. So I think the people running things in Blackpool really don't understand Blackpool, and really don't understand what makes it tick. Because one of the things they've said is they've got to have these collision avoidance cameras on the trams, and the heritage trams aren't fitted with them. This is what it said in the statement the other night. But the modern trams weren't fitted with them when they arrived. As far as I know, some of them probably still aren't fitted with them. And why do you need collision avoidance cameras? Why do you need cameras that can see if there's a person walking in front of the tram and then stop the tram? Those trams have been operating for well over 100 years, and there's always been a person at the front with eyes who can stop the tram if somebody walks in front of it. Why do you now need some automatic system to do that? It seems nonsensical to me, and as far as I'm aware, that automatic system is not fitted onto any other modern tramway in the UK. It's not in Manchester, it's not in Croydon, it's not in Sheffield. As far as I'm aware, it's not in any other place other than Blackpool. So to say they've got to have that is nonsensical, absolutely nonsensical. And of course, in other parts of the world, heritage trams run quite happily. A really good example is in San Francisco. Everybody thinks about the cable cars, of course, in San Francisco, but there is also, although it doesn't get much publicity because it's kind of overshadowed by the cable cars, there is a very good and very popular electric tramway that uses a 100% heritage fleet, some of which have actually come across from Blackpool. So to say you can't use them anymore is nonsense. It's how much you actually want to use them. But just means I won't have to get in the car and go to Blackpool anymore, because there's nothing left there to go for. Christopher said the V-Line locos in Australia are going to Southern Short Haul Railroad for grain train service. He says V-Line did a similar thing to Blackpool on the Shepperton line with the loco haul rolling stock. They replace a loco haul stock with DMUs without any publicity for a last run or anything. Yeah, see, that's the thing about it. Why have they done it in Black? Well, I know why they've done it in Blackpool. They've done it because they know if they'd advertised a last Heritage Day, there will be protests and stuff. That's why they've done it quietly and done it at the end of a season as well. That's why they've done it. I think they're in crisis. I think they've opened this new North Station route and nobody's using it, or not enough people are using it. I've done the sums. I have worked out the sums and that about it, and it's just bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. The people running Blackpool Transport, I have absolutely no fear of saying this, ought to be put up against a fitting shot wall and shot, because they are absolutely useless. And if the trams really do need cameras to be able to stop them in case there's something in front of them, then the staff training must be bloody awful. Because it's not hard to drive a tram. I can teach you to drive a tram in 10 minutes and you'd be totally competent. It's really not hard to do. So I've got no idea what's going on, but there is something amiss in Blackpool. There is something wrong there. There is something they are not telling us. It doesn't seem right at all. Christopher says, Andy, did you see the email from my telephone room? I haven't, Christopher, no. But it may. Oh, that's a good point. I wonder what my emails have done. Means as the computer failed. Not thought about that. But no, I've not seen it, Christopher. I've not got round to reinstalling email yet, because to be honest, I check email so rarely on my computer and that, because I get so much spam and that I've not even thought about email yet. So the answer's no at the moment. But yeah. Right. Anyhow, yeah. So that's all. What's been going on? It's all a bit wrong this week, in many ways. It's all a bit wrong in many ways. I don't know if I can actually. Can I? No, I don't want to stop streaming. I just want to do something else. I want to look at something on my phone. Yeah, it won't let me do that. Won't let me do two things on my phone at once anymore. Yeah, so it's it's not good what's happening in Blackpool. It's really not good at all. I wonder what is going on there. Something very, very fishy. Right. So yeah, that's the news for this week. Basically, that's about all the news that we've got. Not a lot has happened because, like I say, between computers breaking down and stuff, and having to do my day job and that, I just don't get any time to do anything else. Just sort of fall asleep and wake up the next morning and carry on doing the same old nonsense as before. So I don't get time really to do anything clever. But yeah, it's a sad week. And yeah, hopefully the knives will be out for the Blackpool Transport Management, because I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. But then I've got little sympathy for anybody. It's just another good reason. Britain has just gone to shit, hasn't it, basically, Britain? Since this bloody Labour government got in, the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. I absolutely hate the Labour Party. I will never, ever vote Labour. Never, never, ever, ever. I know a lot of people have done. That's how they've got in. But I would never, ever, ever vote for the Labour Party. I would vote for Vladimir Putin or Adolf Hitler to be in charge before I would vote for bloody Keir Starmer and his bunch of cronies. In fact, the more that happens, the more I think Russia's got the right idea on how to run a country. Christopher says, Andy, do your jerry cans have the WD logo on the can? No, I don't think they do, actually, Chris. Well, they might do. I don't know. They've certainly got a date on. They've certainly all got a date on, when they were manufactured. Yeah. But they probably don't have the WD logo on because they're not that old. I think most of the ones that I've got are sort of from the 60s and 70s and that. Gambo is with us, apparently. Hi, Gambo. I can't see a list of who's here on this either. It's really rubbish. It's just not good this week at all round. It's really not good. Yeah. So it's really not working right this week, is it? Anyway, if you want a little thing about the heritage trams in Blackpool, if I turn this camera around, there's a shelf full of models here. Look, and these are just some of the models of some of the mainly the Blackpool trams of all the years gone by. On that shelf there, and there's more on the top as well. No, been made over a number of years, and it's looking like they will probably be the only ones left. The little ones will probably be the only ones left fairly soon, from what I've seen about it. But I'll find out what's going on. I will find out what's going on, and let you know. And if I find out the truth, I will come out and say it. Christopher says he's got one Blackpool tram model in OO gauge. Is it a Corgi one? Corgi made quite a few. The models aren't actually very good. They're not very accurate. When you put them, they look all right, but when you put them at the side of the real thing, you realise they're not even close. The Corgi ones. There's a Corgi one here somewhere. Where is it? No, it's up there. Yeah, they're not even like the right shape or anything. I'll see if I can grab it, Christopher, just a sec. This is a Corgi one, and they're not even close to being right. The front end of them is very bad. The windscreens downstairs are completely and totally wrong on them. This is about one of the first ones that came out, which is why I've got it, and I was so disappointed with it I never bought another one. But all the other ones up here are made from kits or even made from scratch, you know, built out of plasticard and stuff, like the little Blackpool Loco. That little thing, which is a Loco they used to have for pulling coal trucks along the tramway, that is actually built out of plastic and cardboard and old takeaway containers and things, and that. That's in the days when I used to have enough time to be able to do things like that. Really, really impressive. That little thing was. Yeah, that's how it was preserved at Cryche. Without the buffers, they took the buffers off at Cryche, but that is basically how it was. It's green now at Cryche, that, but yeah. All right, what is everybody up to? Gambo says, hi there all, bought another ITI Bakelite telephone, try and repair this to try and repair the white ITI phone, but still no luck. Tried all suggestions, but can't get any to work, plus not got the time lately. What's wrong with it then, Gambo? What's wrong with the phone? The ITI bake. Have I got an ITI one? Yeah, there's one there, but I can't really get at it at the minute. Yeah. What's wrong with it? What's up with it? Why is it not playing the ball? Not playing ball, shall we say? Yeah, should be able to get them working. There's nothing to them. There's not really anything in them. So I don't know why it would not be working. Chris says, my model is the same as your green one, but my one's Coca-Cola livery with a pantograph. And it runs too. Oh, well, somebody's motorised it then, Christopher, because they weren't sold motorised. They were static models when they were sold. The bogies don't turn on them either. That's something that Corgi did that was stupid. They cast the bogie sides as part of the body so they don't turn. Yeah, they're just a really, really rubbish model. I knew they were coming out months before they did, and when it came out, I just thought, God, it's awful. It's awful. And then they did a single deck brush that was equally bad. So I never bought any more Corgi ones. Well, yeah. Right. Anyhow, I guess I'd probably better be going because it's rather chilly here in this loft today, let me tell you. Yeah, there's penguins walking around with overcoats on. But we shall be back here again at some point over the Christmas holiday, no doubt. Hopefully, the live show will be back to normal next week. Next Sunday we'll be back to normal around about 6:30 next Sunday. all technical stuff and things permitting. Hopefully we should get back to our normal routine. Gambo says the ITI phone came with a white handset and a modern mic put in place. I can get it to ring, and if I move the disc here, the dial tone, and if I move the disc here, the dial tone, but no luck. Move the disc. Do you mean move the dial? If you move the dial, can you hear the dial tone? Because if so, the dial's going back too far when it's in its rest position. If you can't hear the dial tone until you move the finger wheel, then it's because the finger wheel is not resting in the right place. The finger wheel's got a cam on it that makes and breaks various contacts, including the ones that give you the dial tone. And if it's gone back too far, it'll have passed that contact and run off the other side of it, so the contact's opened up again or whatever, so you can't hear the dial tone. So that could be what it is. Gambo says source dial auto correct. That's what it is, Gambo. It's the dial that's gone too far back or something. If you take it apart, if you take the dial out, you will see that when the dial is at the rest position, there's a little cam on the dial that should either open a contact or close it. I can't remember which way around it should be. But when the dial is at rest, that cam should either open or close a certain contact. That's the only time that contact operates. What it's done is it's gone past it on the little cam, and so the contact is not in touch with the cam anymore. So it's either not gone far enough to reach the cam, or the cam's gone past. It's gone too far and the cam's gone past. But it's one of those two things. So it's on the dial. It's definitely on the dial. That is. Yeah, I'm quite sure of that one. So yeah, have a little look at that. It'll be in the dial. And it'll be one of these ATA style dials, most likely, that's got the big gap between the 0 hole for your finger and the finger stop, like what I've just shown earlier on this candlestick phone. You see how it's got a gap between there and there? See that big gap there? That is probably what you've got on your ITI phone. In fact, it's probably that dial, because this, I think, is an Indian replica of a candlestick. He says, I need to sort the mic situation as well, as it's dead. Yeah, that could be anything. That could be something in the wire to it. That could. So, yeah, that could be all sorts of things. They're not terribly well put together, those Indian phones. Tried rewiring the mic with another and no luck. Take the whole handset off, Gambo. Use a handset from another phone, from a 706 or something. Take the whole handset off and put the 700 series handset on it, complete with curly cord and everything, and see if that solves it. It probably will. It sounds like it's a break in the curly cord. Yeah. What they have a horrible habit of doing in India is making wires out of solid core cable. You know the solid core stuff like you have for um, running your telephone drop cable outside and that and and like the Ethernet wire that you buy that's 6 cores or telephone cable and that it's got a solid, normally copper core in it, hasn't it? You know, when you bend it, it stays there. Um, that wire is not supposed to be used for a flexible cord because you bend it backwards and forwards a lot, it breaks. You're supposed to have a multi-stranded wire for a flexible cord. But in India, they've got a horrible habit of using the solid core stuff. And of course, when you bend it a few times, it breaks. So it's that is one of the problems you get a lot with Indian telephones. They are not made to the same standard as a UK phone. But my guess is your problem, Gambo, is in the cable. Is in this somewhere. That's what I would guess. This is one off a 700 series phone. You see, it comes off at both ends. I would get one of these with a 700 series handset on it that you know works. Just borrow one off another phone. You just unwire it out of the phone. Just temporarily wire it into your Indian one and see if it works. And I think it probably will once you've solved the thing with the dial. Yes. Yeah, I've not got a normal one here. Not that I can easily get at anyway. I'm just looking. Yeah, it's almost certainly a curly cord problem. A curly cord issue. But yeah, what handset is it as well? Is it a? It's probably a normal like a 164 handset, isn't it? You know, a normal British Bakelite handset like that, is it? Or is it indeed a 7? Because sometimes in India they do put 700 series handsets on Bakelite phones. You can do it. They do fit actually. Get a black one and stick it on a Bakelite phone. It does happen. In fact, it was done quite a lot in Australia. As Christopher will tell you, because Australia had a handset that, although it was Bakelite, in fact, I've got one here. It was very similar. This is an Australian phone. This is an Australian 400 series. Christopher's seen this before. But this, although this looks like an ordinary 700 series handset, this is Bakelite. And what did it say on it? It says on it it's a 304/24. It says on it this. And this is what they had in Australia instead of the 700 series phone. They basically continued with Bakelite but changed the handset. It's a Bakelite handset, but they redesigned it to make it look a bit more modern. Yeah, this one is indeed Australian. So you probably can't read that because it's backwards, isn't it? Today, but yeah. I'll put that back. yeah, all sorts of weirdness. Right, where are we doing? Gambo says the one he's got is a white Bakelite style handset, so a normal UK one, but a white one. Yeah. If that was the actual British one, it'd be worth a fortune, that handset. Yeah. Right. Anyway, have a look at that dial issue. I think you'll find you've got a dial issue there, Gambo. Christopher says, and the 400 series has the wrong handset code on it. Cloth cords were never used on a 400 series. You could be right. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, Christopher. It sort of arrived as a 400 series. As you know, because you kind of sent over a dial and that for it, but that's the one with the dial that's stuck in. It's actually super glued in, the dial, and I've still not managed to get it off the dial that's on it, because you sent me a kind of version of a dial 12 to go on it, a special Australian version of a dial 12 to go on it instead of the 21 that it's got, but I can't get the 21 off because somebody's glued it in with some magic glue that you can't unglue. I've tried all sorts and can't shift it at all. But yeah, maybe I'll have another go over Christmas if I get a bit of time. Right. Anyway, it's about time for me to be shoving off before I freeze to death in this loft. But thanks to everybody for joining us once again today. When we are back to normal next week, I will let you all know what is replacing Patreon. But I can confirm to those of you who are or were patrons that we have now closed down the Patreon account. Basically, Patreon just being difficult. And I'm glad I have, because they've paid me the money out that was in the account, and they've paid it into PayPal in US dollars, and I can't draw it out of PayPal because my PayPal account is in British pounds, and for some reason PayPal split this other thing into US dollars, and I've not found a way to withdraw it yet, so I've got to get in touch with PayPal this week as well. Another one of the many things that have gone wrong in the last 7 days. It's been really bad, let me tell you. But not to worry, we will carry on working on the theory that things can only get better. So until next week, have a fantastic week ahead, everybody. And we will see you back to our normal time of around about 6:30-ish next Sunday afternoon. But from me, for now, I'll see you all soon.